The story introduces Ash, who experiences a catastrophic event called the Short, which wipes out all electricity on the planet. After a long journey home, Ash discovers his family is missing, so he builds a weapon to find them. After a random encounter, Ash comes into the care of a teen boy named Eddie. What's Ash gonna do with all of these problems? Find out on the next issue of RUTHLESS!
Alright, kid. Remember what I told you. When you decide to act, you go all in. Give it everything you got. Now, go get us some lunch. I took the kid out hunting today. We need to eat, and he needs to learn how to survive. And I can pick up a few things along the way. Okay, Eddie, now's the time. Go! Go, kid. Eddie, come on! Go! The kid hesitates. Eddie, I know what you're feeling, but there are things that gotta die. Don't hate it. Don't love it. Use it. Let it focus you. 'Cause that's what it means to be a man. And that's what you are now. So go kill that fucking thing. Go!
Shit!
Despite Eddie's miss that round, we end up catching 3 for the day. I've never seen him this happy. Iguanas. Perfect time to break out the Sassone packet. Yeah, I like this. You look good with your head up. Just remember that not every day is gonna feel like a win. This world, it'll wear on you. Now don't go make it worse by beating yourself up. Sometimes it's right there by your side, and sometimes it'll betray you. And giving up hope just puts a dagger into your soul. But today, we celebrate. Now let's go home and eat.
That tastes horrible.
Oh yeah? Try tonguing a muffy snatch after a CrossFit class. Just eat a little faster. We have one more stop before we lose daylight. Should be a grocery store right down there. Maybe they'll have some charcoal for the grill.
Wait, no more training?
Yeah, semester's over. And here's the final. If I tell you to stick close, then do exactly as I say. These are the types of trips you risk your ass on.
Can I ask you something?
Shoot.
If there's so many bad guys, then how are you able to make it home after the short?
With my feet.
No. I need to know what's out there.
Alright, kid, just because I call you a man doesn't mean you got hair on your chest now. Let's go walk and talk. About a month in, I reached the Appalachian Mountains. On the way there, I saw humans turn back into animals. People got desperate with deaths on the table. The mountains were quiet, but tricky. I tried to navigate my way through. Got lost for God knows how long. Felt like a pregnancy term before I found a welcome to Georgia sign. I stumbled down the highway, going south. My adrenaline wore. Anxiety started to set in. Just two endless lanes. No lights. Nothing but trees going down both sides. There was a lot of time to think. I thought about my wife, my kids, parents, siblings, even the friends I never visited. I thought about what caused the short. Was this an accident? Or was this all on purpose? Thinking too much. That was my mistake. I got ambushed. Drug into the tree line. The panic blurred my vision. I lost the ability to defend myself. I took the beating of my life. But worse than that was the smell. The smell of these people made you sick. They drugged me into the middle of nowhere. Strung me up in their basement. My prison already had a young girl in it. A scared little thing. 2 days later, they were back. This time, with a dead body. The biggest guy in the group grabs a hacksaw and with no regard just pushes and pulls at the top of the corpse's leg right underneath the hip. Then he takes the blade and cleans the leg right off the knee. They carved his thigh like a deli turkey till they got to the femur, which the big dude grabbed and started walking towards me. And like a beat cop with a nightstick got me right across the cheek. That's where I blacked out for a few seconds, but I came to from a wailing. Hits to my body, legs, arms. In that moment, I thought I was a dead man. And hopefully I would be before they started cutting me up. Then, a bang. Their heads turned to the door while they held mine to the floor. But I saw it too. Someone in the frame. An older man. He looked like a trucker with a shotgun. He points the gun at the femur slugger and fires. It missed, but at least he stopped my beating. The stanky clan started scrambling around, looking for cover like roaches. Shotgun trucker went to the girl first. He untied her before embracing a hug. Guess it was his daughter. She looked at me with pity, so he cut me loose.
My name is Russ,
He said,
follow me, don't make me kill you too.
before we could leave, more rushed in. I took a wild swing and grabbed the bone I was beaten with. I noticed the end splintered off, leaving a sharp end, or sharp enough. I squared myself up when I saw the big guy. Then my body went fucking hostile. I charged at him, swinging like a maniac. Although he didn't seem to be getting hurt, he did trip himself up. All that weight falls hard. I closed the gap as he stood up, and I stabbed him right through the neck to the fight song of screaming and gunshots, and a finale rained blood in a basement. Whoa, it was wild, man.
What's your name, boy?
Ash, and thanks for giving those creeps what they deserved.
Hello and happy Thursday. Welcome to Creative Chaos, the show that spotlights indie creators, as I like to call them, fascinating people creating fantastic things outside the mainstream. And I've got a really great guest for you tonight. But first, I'd like to thank our guest ahead of time for being the opening cartoon or audio comic that is called Ruthless. Anybody that was here early, you saw Ruthless, just a portion of it. And in the description of the video, you will find where to find both of the Ruthless comics. And we're going to be talking to the creator here in just a little bit. And hey, Batman, it's time to bring you in already. What's up, Fran? You here and unmuted?
Hi, I'm here. I'm unmuted.
Awesome.
Set my phone up. I don't have my tripod with me. I got nothing. I'm sitting here in the kitchen trying to cook my steak because the gas grill ran out. Damn it.
I don't think we've ever been to your kitchen before.
Probably not. No, I'm usually in the office, in the studio in my office by the time we go live usually.
All right, so you're cooking your steak right now?
Yeah, still in the damn oven. And well, here, let me show you.
Can we hear you chew later?
I got the couscous. Well, I was going to mute when I chew, but I got the couscous already, nice and seasoned. That's delicious. And then I got steamed broccoli and cauliflower that I seasoned myself. And that's underneath the bowl, staying warm while the steak still cooks. But
all right, very good. Hey,
bring in our guest.
Yeah, we will in just one moment, but I just gotta say, our friend Ben is here.
Hey Ben, you're my friend, Ben, you're my friend, you're the best old Ben there's ever been, never been a Ben like Ben.
Hey Ben, thank you for the compliments on the next issue, looking great. Hey, so Batman, I love bringing you in early because you help me pitch, and this I was kind of proud of myself for creating because I'd never done it before. If you can bring up the little GIF that I made. So what I did over the last week is I had collected all of the comic shops across the United States because I'm going to be starting my guerrilla marketing very soon. But I also realized, because I wanted to plot them out on a map, I'm like, oh, I can feed a spreadsheet into a pin making map thing of all of my subscribers because I wanted to see what it looked like. I'd never done it before. And this is in the United States what our distribution, our personal distribution looks like. Is that not impressive? He's muted. He's eating. Anyway.
No, I'm muted. I said, that's really impressive. And then I realized, shit, I'm muted.
And it's really, really fun. I'm not going to do it because, it has, personal information in each one of those pens, but it is super fun to zoom in. And I've noticed across the United States, almost everybody that has a subscription to Flip City Magazine lives within 5 miles of another person who subscribes to Flip City, which I think is freaking phenomenal.
That's amazing concentration.
Exactly. I thought it was also funny that it seems like we're really popular east of the Rockies. Why is that? Do you have a theory?
Yeah. I mean, Mad Magazine's a New York-based magazine. So because you are kind of like Mad Magazine on steroids and crack at the same time, it's not surprising that you have a large East Coast following. Because National Lampoon was mostly West Coast, although we did get some East Coasters that, like I used to read the magazine. Pardon me, used to read the magazine too, but I was a Mad Magazine follower, and it's a mostly East Coast mag, I find.
Right.
So, I don't know if there's anything to do with it, but take it for what it's worth.
Maybe it's just tradition, Maybe east of the Rockies are more comedy fans than West. Anyway, so I was really impressed.
Humor at all.
What was that?
West Coast doesn't have a sense of humor at all.
Oh,
They're too woke. They're too woke to be to have a funny bone anymore.
Yeah, well, I feel stuck behind enemy lines here in Commie, California, but I love my state. I don't want to abandon it. I prefer that we can fix it. You know, we'll see what happens though. In the future, I may end up being forced to flee. Anyway, so anybody that wants to join the family. Oh, and also on that gift that was up there for quite a while, I would love to know anybody in chat where you actually are in the United States of America. Is anybody in Commie, California with me? I'd like to know that. So anybody that's interested in joining the flippin' funniest family in the world, you can go to flipcitymag.com and subscribe from there. And if you don't know what we are and don't believe that we're as funny as we say, there is a free magazine at the site as well. So that's flipcitymag.com.
And now
Yeah,
also, wait
yeah,
one second, before we bring in our guest,
yeah.
remember, like, subscribe, hit that thumbs up. Make sure you hit that red pill if you're on foxholepill.net. Make sure you throw us some gold pill love if you're there as well. But make sure to hit the bell. Make sure you subscribe, like, and ring the bell. Thumbs up, everybody, wherever, whatever platform you're on, do it now so you
That's
don't
right.
forget.
That's right. And also, before we bring our guest in, I do want to say what is up to the chat over on the Flip City side of YouTube. Flatus I Flatus Assfire says, "Woohoo! Let's go!" And the Devastator says, "Howdy, everyone!" And George Washington X says, "What up?" And JVP Music checking in over there, and of course, our friend Ben checked in. And AC Pritchard, what is up, brother? I don't think I've seen you back since
I gotta
we
say,
had you on Creative Chaos. So hello out there. Thank you for popping in. And then
I just
Madness
have to say
Comic.
hello. I
I'm
just have
sorry,
to say
Sam.
hello real quick to my one and only fan out there, George Washington X. Thank you, brother. Good seeing you out there.
He really
My
loves
little,
you. He missed you while you were gone after your surgery.
I miss being here, but that's I'm back and in full swing. So let's make it happen.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if you see up on the screen, Batman is unmuted, says George Washington X. We can see that he is a regular Creative Chaos viewer.
Yes, I was unmuted today for the first time, and then I muted myself again and forgot to unmute, but I wanted to comment.
That's right.
So I'll unmute.
And then also just over on Foxhole, TGM popped in with an eagle sticker, and Madness said hello there with the oh, who is that guy that killed my father? My name is Inigo Montoya. Says hello there with a sticker on Foxhole. Anybody that is not on pill.net, get over there. It is the funnest way to chat because you have a ton of options of dropping a lot of fun stickers, aka gifts. I will never say GIF because it's wrong. I don't care what the creator says. And then Madness Comic Network as well. I checked in on Foxhole, even though we are also streaming live on the Madness Comic Network, which we love. I wonder if anybody else is going to pop in over there. And then Rumble. Do I have anybody over on Rumble? Sorry, taking me a second. I can't find my Rumble chat. If anybody's watching on Rumble, hello and welcome. It is time to bring our guest in. I'm going to just read a little bio that I pulled from different corners of the internet. So, JVP Music, whose first name is John, is a self-taught music composer and engineer that wants to entertain others with his original music and hopefully partly to inspire others to create. I'm all behind that. He is also the creator of Ruthless, which you saw opening the show tonight. He's a composer of Project Full Blade, a tabletop role-playing game, former lead guitarist of Metal Rain and Surety, and an award-winning marching and concert percussionist. He's developed music for many independent podcasters and projects in the freedom space. We love those freedom spaces. So let's bring John into our freedom space. Hi, John.
Hello, how's it going?
Hey,
Good.
Johnny, what's happening?
Not much. Getting past the hurricane, getting past this cold, so I apologize for my voice. But
Oh, yeah,
uh
I heard you were actually in Florida. You're South Florida?
yeah, southeast. So we barely got anything. We got like tropical storm force winds. Didn't get a single drop of rain, but I lost power for like 3 hours and that was it.
Yeah, I have family in the southeastern region, and my brother-in-law was driving home from the west side to the east side of South Florida, down in the Wellington area, and he saw a tornado and actually
Yeah.
videotaped it and sent me a quick clip. And I'm like blown away that he was literally like driving into it. And I'm like, are you stupid? He says, well, it was to my right. I just kept going to the left. I'm like, okay, whatever. But
Ye-
thankfully, they didn't get hit too hard. And like you, they lost power.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're Florida men, so if it's a tornado, hurricane, if you're on the road driving, like what are you gonna do? You just gotta kind of drive through it and hope for the best. So
Yep, that's it.
Sorry, I had to die there for a second. I'm still dying.
that's okay. We'll take over.
She took too big of a hit from her cigarette or her joint, one or the other.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be me soon. Chat, feel free to make fun of me when my voice cracks. I actually don't mind going through a second puberty. Makes me feel young again at 41, so I'll take it. I don't mind it.
Oh my God, you're such a baby. Damn, I got you by almost 20 years. Shit.
Geez, well, I hope I'm still eating steak like you are in 20 years. So
Hey,
Well,
Batman. I
I
love
have a lot of toxic masculinity. So I'm sure you, if you have that too, you'll be fine.
oh yeah, I like a good ribeye. It's my favorite.
There you go.
Bat
Tri-tips are always nice too.
Yeah.
Batman. While I continue to die a little bit, would you like to do fanboys for us?
Yes. So let me just explain to John real quick. What we do is we're going to ask you a series of rapid fire questions.
Okay.
And those questions, we'd like you to give your first original answer to them. And we're going to fanboy with you. And so we're going to ask you to fanboy for us. We're going to start out, if you don't mind, with your favorite movie.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Rapid fire.
I'm gonna have to say Goodfellas.
Okay. Okay. So you like the mob movies? You're a mob movie guy?
Yes and no. I like Goodfellas. I like Sopranos. I do not like The Godfather. I do not like Casino. I have weird taste. I'm Italian American, so a good mob movie really gets to me, but I'm very picky about what I like and don't like.
Gotcha.
Sopranos is my favorite television show. Go on.
It's the best.
All right. Favorite artist, and it can be from any genre: paint, movies, paint, comics, ceramics, any medium of art. What's your favorite?
Visual art, or does that include music?
Favorite artist? Go for it.
Visual.
Favorite artist.
Visual preferred, but go ahead.
This is gonna sound cheesy, but it's gonna be the Barton brothers, Corey Barton, who's the new artist of Ruthless. He was my favorite. Their comic book, their indie comic, was my favorite before I even talked to him about Ruthless. And I'll stick with that. I'll go with the indie guy.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate that. Wow, this steak smells amazing. I just had to take it out of the oven because it is done. I don't want to overcook it. I like my medium rare, just a little bit of pink on the inside. All right. What's your favorite food? Any food, any kind, desserts, food, whatever.
I'm gonna have to go eggs. It's the only thing I could eat every day.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. Okay, that's cool. Your favorite drink, alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
Bourbon.
Oh,
That was a quick
my
one.
That
eggs and bourbon.
that's a very manly drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some toxic masculinity in him still. That's a good thing.
It's controlled.
Okay. Favorite? I'm sorry?
A controlled toxic masculinity.
Controlled toxic masculinity. There you go. Favorite character? Favorite character, any genre, TV, movie, comics, other?
Blade. Wesley Snipes Blade.
Yes. Good man. Nice choice. All right. And now for music, your favorite band.
Band Pantera.
Ooh, an old
Yeah.
80s.
Yeah, that's
For
actually Dimebag signature series guitar, that black one. That's a very rare Dimebag signature series. So
very cool.
mhm.
Very cool. All
Yeah,
right.
you do. Do have a very nice collection of guitars behind you.
Some are cheap, some are nice. That black one though, that's my if anything happened to anything in my studio and it wasn't that guitar, I can get over it. But if it was that guitar, I would treat it as if somebody came after my children. So
Y- and I did say a nice collection of guitars, but the one directly to the right, how I'm looking, that doesn't look like a guitar.
it's a mountain dulcimer. So I don't know if you know what a hammer dulcimer is, but that was a kind of a stringed medieval instrument over in Europe. And when they started immigrating over here, in the origins of America, it was actually the mountain dulcimer was created in West Virginia because the hammer dulcimer was too heavy to transport, so they created a lighter version. So that's actually kind of an American twist on a European instrument.
That's interesting. I love the dulcimer, the tones of the dulcimer. So that's really interesting that's like one of your instruments on your wall behind you. That's crazy.
It sounds
Very cool.
beautiful. Yeah, it's very pretty sounding.
Well, maybe if we have some time later, you pull it down, you play something for us on our way out.
Do you ever
Sure, yeah.
do that? Do we have to pay you? Do we have to tip you?
No, it's probably out of tune, but I can knock off something real quick. We'll figure it out.
All right, awesome.
So
Hey, well,
wait,
something. Oh yeah,
I
go
have
ahead.
one more question because we know he's a music man. Are you a music teacher by any means, name, or stretch in any way,
Not
shape, or form?
not anymore. I did some teaching after high school. I teach my kids music. Teaching them how to drum now, but I don't have the time to teach, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Very
the
good.
patience. So-
I'm sure you have patience with your kids, though.
oh yes, but that's where it's all invested in there, and then I don't have any patience for anything else. So
Well, and that's the thing too. So something that gets me right in the feels is that you've done marching and concert percussion. Was
mhm.
that in high school? Are you a band nerd?
I am a band nerd. Yeah,
Me too.
yeah. I started off with oboe in middle school. Before that, I played piano and I was in choir in elementary school. And then when I got to high school, well, actually middle school, I switched to drums and I played 2 years of drums in middle and then 3 years of drums in high school.
So how long did you play the oboe through? I can't believe you were playing oboe in middle school. That's a double reed instrument is crazy.
It was difficult. The only reason I played the oboes because I signed up for band too late and the drums were full. So it was kind of just get the foot in the door with the band, play something, and then the following year I was the first one to sign up for drums. So,
That's really funny because I have a similar thing of being forced to play clarinet, but only because I wanted to play saxophone, but my parents were like, "Oh, that instrument's too expensive. Play clarinet." And then I switched over in high school over to
sax, yeah,
saxophone. Yeah.
I
Oh, I
like
loved
sax.
it.
I love Kenny G. So
Oh, I don't like Kenny G, but
really, oh man,
yeah.
I love Kenny G.
No, I like a
Eric,
good
you just lost
blues
toxic
and
masculinity points
jazz
for that one.
sax.
That's fine. I'm not. I'm a bit of a hippie. So
Now I'm busting your chops. I like good blues and jazz saxophone.
That's what I
I
just
don't know
said.
any specifics, but I do. Yeah. No, I know, and I'm the same way. But I do enjoy a good blues and jazz saxophone. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I just
that's
want to say what's up
mm.
to Evalie real quick. Hello.
Got music centric crowd here tonight. Everly AC. It's my boys.
Yeah, see, and that's the other thing too. And I'm going to say this because Evalie happens to be in the chat. I I really do in the very near future want to do a musician panel from the Iron Age people. I'd love to hang out with all of you guys. Is that something you'd be into coming
Oh
back and
yeah,
doing?
yeah. We could do that.
Okay, awesome. So
You
when did you get into metal? 'Cause that's kind of your
yeah.
thing, right?
That's a good question. I guess I don't want to say Rage Against the Machine necessarily, but Rage was kind of the first hardcore rock band that I ever heard. I don't know if I'd call them metal, but I think hardcore rock is a appropriate term for their music. And Bulls on Parade, that was kind of, and I got that CD. I think it was Evil Empire, is the name of the CD. And after that, the first metal band that I listened to that really kind of opened the doors for me. I hate to say this, but it was Limp Bizkit.
Oh, really?
Yes, which, looking back on it, it's you could kind of make fun of it. But the first metal band that really kind of blew the doors open after that was Slipknot, that first Slipknot album. And then shortly after that, one of my best friends, John Jones, he was my drummer in both of my bands. We played drums in high school. So we always had like a tight group of drumming friends growing up. But he introduced me to Pantera, and shortly after I learned of Pantera, I saw them like 3 months after first hearing them, and then they were my favorite band ever since.
All right, awesome. And I just real quick in chat, I'm really liking, by the way, Batman, that you came up with this new segment fanboy for us. I'd love everybody in chat to just drop your favorite band. And I will say mine right now, no shame at all. Talking Heads. I fucking love Talking Heads. I will die on that hill. If
Talking
anybody
Heads.
talks shit about David Byrne, you better watch out.
I'm gonna
Kitty
start doing
got
some
claws.
research so I can attack you on Twitter tomorrow.
Please do. Listen, Batman, what do you think of Talking Heads?
I'm a little old school because I don't like a band per se, but my favorite musician is Warren Zevon. It was my absolute favorite back in college. But I did do metal for a long while. Iron Maiden was a big regular for me. I went to see them several times. Electric Light Orchestra would probably be my favorite band. I've seen them like 8 or 9 times.
Wow.
And when I was younger and stupid and I didn't know music, I used to like Kiss.
Awesome. Hey, I also love knowing the first concert people went to. What's yours, John?
Um, as far as professional bands, I believe it was Incubus and Deftones.
Not bad. Not a bad concert, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest Incubus fan or Deftones fan, but Deftones put on a hell of a live show. And I'm still not the biggest Deftones fan, but whenever they're on, I can listen to them. I respect them. They're a good band. Incubus
There you
was,
go.
I don't know.
Deftones is a good band. Yeah.
They
I'll back
are,
that
yeah.
up.
Good live too.
Hey, I just gotta say, George Washington says, yeah, people try to pretend now that they didn't like Limp, but they sold tons of albums in the late 90s. Somebody was buying them.
Yeah.
I
Liking
don't,
Limp Bizkit is not a bad thing. Limp Bizkit, back in the heyday, Limp Bizkit was damn good until they went woke and then they got broke. And then they lost, what was the guy's name that died from Limp Bizkit?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm actually, I wasn't aware somebody did die from Limp Bizkit. Was it the guitarist?
Maybe I'm confusing him with what's his face? Oh,
Oh, Chester from Linkin Park.
No, I thought somebody from Limp Bizkit passed away. I'm almost positive, but I can't Google it and look it up. But let's digress and move on. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
I don't really want to digress that far because I'm trying to think of any Limp Bizkit song. I mean, what was their most popular song?
Well, I think what broke them out was their cover, You Gotta Have Faith by George Michaels. That cover kind of broke them into the mainstream on MTV.
Yes.
And then their first big, like kind of original song was, I believe, the next album. And it was, I think it was Break Stuff. Was their
Okay.
first single from that next album. And that was like, I believe their biggest song.
I mean,
Everything on that album was their biggest songs. I think they had 3 or 4 singles.
I guess I'm sure I'd probably recognize them if they were playing, but by title, I have no idea what you're talking about. But I do just want, because I asked the question, I just want to shout out who has answered favorite bands. And AC Pritchard says Andromeda with an I. I guess there's something with an O. And then I saw something else. Okay. Everly says Solid Work is probably my all-time I would think, favorite, followed by Dance Gavin Dance and Asian Kung Fu Generation. Current faves, Orbit Culture. Evely, I don't think you understood the assignment. I asked for one.
He did show some love to Overkill, though. I do love Overkill. They're definitely my top 5.
Yeah, I don't even know that band. I mean, I guess we're gonna have a battle on Twitter. Like we're just gonna look up what I can't believe you don't know who the Talking Heads are. You do. It's burning down the house.
Yeah, I know who they are.
Oh yeah.
I'm not the biggest knowledgeable on them. Oh, nice pre-cut couscous. Very healthy looking.
Looks yummy. And a cute dog. I've never seen your dog, by the
Yeah, that's
way.
Daisy. That's my beast Daisy with
So
the tongue hanging
cute.
out of the left, left side of her face. But yeah, and wait, there's still another half of the steak I haven't even gotten to yet. Look at how
Wow.
red that is. Oh, that's
I've
so
never
good.
made a steak in the oven. I feel like you're doing it wrong.
You think I'm doing it wrong?
Well, do you sear it first and just kind of finish it in the oven?
I didn't have the chance to. I was going to put it in the frying
Okay.
pan, but my time was limited. So I was too busy with the stove already going. I had the couscous on one burner. I had the broccoli and cauliflower steaming on the other, and I can't use the other side because we keep kosher in this house. So this is the milk side. That's where I cook my eggs in the morning. This is the side that I cook everything else that's meat related. So
Fair enough.
yeah,
All right. Hey, well, let's get back to basically what everybody we opened the stream with your audio comic Ruthless. I haven't
Yeah.
seen anything quite like what you're doing. I don't know if you took inspiration from somebody else, but just tell us about Ruthless and what made you decide to do an audio comic. Like where'd that all
Sure. Well, I've always been creating music since, 18, right? That's when we started our first band. Even before that, just kind of dilly-dallying, I would kind of write stuff. And we did the bands, and then I took about a 10-year hiatus from music. Kind of got my life straightened out, good profession, had a couple of kids. And then I kind of wanted to start writing music again. And my brother, who I've always been creative with, we're very close. My brother's the former frontman of the bands. He's the co-writer of Ruthless, and he does all the main voice narration and voice acting for Ruthless. So he's really the star of the show, even though I probably do the majority of the work. He's really the star of the show. But he was creating that tabletop role playing game, Project Full Blade, and we decided to make scored audiobooks based on the game, kind of similar to, I don't know if you've ever heard of like the Drist series for Dungeons and Dragons, but kind of storybooks, but in an audiobook format with a score. So we spent about 3 years creating 3 different trilogies, and they weren't very good. Some of it was good. My music wasn't good. We were kind of just getting back into it, but we kind of created this weird craft over 3 years. And then at the end of that, my brother discontinued his project. He had a new baby, work's getting a little busy. And we were kind of sitting there again with no project, which is kind of unlike us. So Ruthless, I didn't know the name, but I wanted to do metal again because it was so long. And when Rippaverse was first announced, I think even before ISOM, the book was announced, and I saw the excitement online from it, and then all these independent creators just started flooding in, and the friends requests are going everywhere, and I find Comicsgate, and I start backing Comicsgate properties. Just the excitement. It's like, okay, now's the time, let's do it. We just ended this project. We've got all this capacity. I want to write metal. What can we do? And it's like, okay, well, for the projects we were doing for Project Full Blade, we were missing that visual element. It was just all audio. And I think the biggest self-critique that I have of what we did before in retrospect is we're just throwing too much at one sense, and you can't really take everything in, right? So it's like, okay, let's do an audio comic. We've kind of got the sound portion down already. We just spent 3 years practicing writing, mixing, mastering. let's add visuals. Let's get into video editing and see kind of what we can do with that. So we did Ruthless issue 1. Um, the feedback for issue 1 was pretty good. There were some faults, but everybody loved the idea, and a lot of people were like, "This has a lot of potential. You need to keep going." So it's like, okay, how can we get better? So we implemented all these new features for issue 2, which that's the first 10 minutes. That's what you played at the beginning of this. And after that was released, before it was even released, we already had 10 to 15 new procedures that we were going to add to the creation process. And we really kind of ramped it up for issue 3, which we're nearing the end of production with issue 3. It should be out either late this year or early next year. And it's at this point, it's a completely different product from what you saw at the beginning of this show. And we're excited to put it out there. But that's kind of the history of what brought us to Ruthless.
All right. Before I ask you
Don't you like-
the next question about Ruthless and Batman, I'll give you a sec here, which does make me think of your of his. I'm sorry. It's going to be about his axe.
Yes.
His guitar, his killer guitar. But first, because you kind of glossed over it, and I do kind of like getting deeper into people's lives, you really said about 3 words. I cleaned my life up. That was 5 words. But I gotta know a little more about that.
Oh, sure. I wasn't like a drug addict or anything. I was just not financially. I was never lazy. I'd always make money. I'd always pay rent. But it was check to check, and it's like, okay, I need to find something where I can support a family. So that's when I
Okay.
say clean my light up. It's really just kind of getting my shit together as an adult, which I did pretty quickly. Luckily.
All right, all right. I was really looking for one of those stories, but we're gonna let Batman say what he
Yeah,
wanted to say.
sitting on the beach with a needle in my arm. No, that wasn't me. I was always pretty responsible. So
Batman,
what I
I
wanted
did cut
to
you off. Okay.
No, that's okay. What I wanted to ask you was, the evolution from where you started to where you came. You obviously are very happy with the results. Everything is always a work in progress when you first start out. Do you like everything that you've done so far? I mean, have all your evolutions reaped you reward, and have you been happy about that?
definitely not. I'm probably the most self-critical person, especially when it comes to my stuff. Um, Good feedback is hard to come by because I think people are afraid of being mean. So, and sometimes you don't necessarily need to be mean, but you need to be blunt and honest, I think, for feedback. So sometimes you have to read between the lines. So if somebody listens to Ruthless and their response isn't, holy shit, this is a toy. Can I curse? I probably should ask before I drop
Oh,
any S-bombs.
yeah, no, we're free
Much
speech
as you fucking
absolutist
want.
here.
Okay. Yeah, if the response isn't, holy shit, this is so cool, I can't believe this is free, I'm gonna share it and tell my friends about it, we did something wrong, right? So that's the response we're looking at. And people may not tell you directly, but if you pay close enough attention, you can kind of read between the lines and say, okay, well, let's look at it again, and where does it look cheap, where do we need to improve? And we do that as we edit. The cool thing about Ruthless is the first thing that gets produced is the audio, and it's a long process. It's a 4 or 5 month process. And as we're producing it at the end of every night of work, I export it, a mastered version. I send it to my brother. I have a copy, and we can just listen to it all day. And then at night we come back and we get to work again. So we're constantly proofing all day. Every day I go to the gym, I'm listening to Ruthless 3 or 4 times in a row every day over a 4 or 5 month period, right? So there's so much self-analysis that goes into it, a lot of self-criticism. And that's the only way you can be impervious to outside criticism and listen to the important parts, is to be tougher on yourself than anybody else can be on you. And that's what we try and be. I don't know if we succeed at that, but that's the goal.
What's that phrase? You're your own worst critic?
Yes.
Yeah, but he said, and this made me laugh, that he is the most self-critical artist. And I'm like, that's some stiff competition there. Because I know and work with and love a lot of artists. And holy shit, y'all are a mess.
Yeah, we well, I think the combination of having a metal product that I can listen to at the gym is a sort of a therapeutic process, because at the same time that I kind of get anything out and kind of get my physical body in my zen, I'm also kind of zoned into my work, and I can kind of beat it up. So before anybody even hears all the mistakes that we made, the tens of thousands of mistakes that are fixed over the course of that whole process, we hear it, we eliminate it, we fix it. There's so many retakes, there's so many redos. So
Yeah. There's a reason the phrase starving artists exist. And in fact,
yeah.
I think that's actually a really good segue into our very first segment. And just to let you know, John, I made this segment for people like you. I tend to have a lot of men. It's like sausage party over here on Creative Chaos. I think I've only ever had one woman on, and it's not because it's not because they don't exist. It's just I've had one woman on, and I think I offended her, and then I've never had another one on. I don't know. Maybe she
Wait,
talks.
is
I
your
don't know.
position women can't be president and they also can't be artists? Because that's sexist, Christy. I don't know if I can. I'm just kidding.
I question the 19th Amendment a lot.
Eh,
So I think that I really do. I think that might have been our major downfall. Anyway, but that has nothing about to do about this. Basically, you look kind of white. You said you're Italian, so
yeah,
that's
Italian
white,
American.
right? That's white. And
White
you're a
enough.
man, and you're straight. So basically, you're the most hated, human being in existence, right? So I made this segment called Mansplain because you guys need a platform. I
Okay,
truly believe in men. So we're going to go into Mansplain because I have a question for you. Let's hit it.
let's do it.
With your hips, I said, shush, girl. Shut your lips. Do the Helen Keller and talk with your hips. I said, shush, girl. Shut your lips. Do the Helen Keller and talk with your hips.
Oh my God. I totally forgot I gave that to Cause. That's a good stinger. That one made me laugh. Anyway, so we were just talking about being self-critical and starving artist and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if because I think a decent amount of people that come over to watch Creative Chaos are probably artists and doing their own thing. And also, we have our own artists that we work with. Is there a good way to be self-critical without demoralizing yourself?
You have to you got to condition yourself to not be demoralized. That for me, that conditioning came a long time ago when I played out. If you've ever played out a show in a band at like a little local spot and there's three people there and one of them is your mother, and you bomb the show, and after the show you kind of reevaluate, like, what are we doing here? We went through that process during the band, so that created a lot of toughness. But yeah, you have to stay hopeful. Just because you suck now doesn't mean you suck later. And really, the only way you lose is when you give up. If you try and fail and try and fail and you keep doing it for 10, 20, 30 years, some artists don't get discovered until they're dead. Look at was it Robert E. Howard who did Conan?
There's a great deal more
Yeah.
than that, and I wonder if that's also something that like resides in the back of almost every artist's mind is like, dude, I could do this my entire life and then
Yeah.
get famous after I die.
It's about legacy. I think legacy is kind of scoffed at in modern America, and I think that's a travesty. I think legacy is important. The number one legacy should be your children, and your family. Number two legacy should be your work, and especially if you're artistic. I mean that's stuff that can live through. Maybe it won't live forever, but it could live through generations. And how many people can say that? Not many. So yeah, I think that's kind of important, and it's kind of the goal as an artist to have some sort of legacy after you die.
It's really funny because just the word legacy is such, to me, it just seems like such a man thing because I never
Yes.
think of my legacy. I'm just like my children, blah blah blah, which is your legacy. It really is. I mean that's what's carrying on your
Oh yeah.
genes
Hmm.
and all that kind of stuff. But it seems to be a huge thing in male circles. Is that built into the DNA?
I think so. And it's not arrogance or cockiness. I think it's just more how we measure our value. And again, if none of this ever works, I just like making music. I'm completely fine if my legacy just lives on through my children. But if I have a legacy through family and through my work, it's almost kind of like having your cake and eating it too. It's kind of having the best of both worlds. It's getting more than you deserve. So that's kind of how I look at it. So we'll see if we'll see what happens when I die, which is hopefully not for a long time.
Well, that's really interesting because it's something one of the big things for what we do is my husband, he does want to do it for legacy, but more in terms of and I'm sorry, I said my husband. He hates when I say that. His name is Scott. Scott McKenzie, everybody, the creator and mad mind behind Flip City. And I freaking love him so much. But he wants something to leave our daughter, you know? Even if she doesn't give a shit or wants to run it or anything, he wants something like that can feed money into her,
Yeah.
after we're dead and gone.
Yeah, and that's that's a great thing. Generational wealth. Again, that kind of it all feeds into legacy. Everything that a man does should feed into legacy. And if it doesn't, I think they're probably not in the best spot.
Are you a manly man?
I think halfway. I'm fairly strong. I don't mind getting my hands dirty, but I am kind of a hippie. I'm soft in certain areas. Like Bruce said, I lost some man points earlier. I definitely have like 10 or 20 things that would lose man points, but
Okay, give us the number one thing that would
that
lose you
lose.
man points.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is bad. This is gonna lose a lot.
Taylor Swift.
No, I,
Okay.
I think it's worse than Taylor
Mm.
Swift. And I think I'm gonna get kicked out of the Iron Age after admitting this.
Oh Lord.
Uh, but due to an ex, a very long time ago, I have seen every episode of the original Sex and the City series.
Okay, I'm sorry. Repeat
One
that
got
one more time so we can
nothing.
clip it perfectly.
I've seen every episode of the original Sex and the City series, and I guess that dude's name was John before the finale. I guessed it like halfway through the series.
That there's nothing wrong with Sex in the City. I used to watch it too, but mostly because I was looking for, a little slip here, a little slip there of the leg or the thigh or the buttocks. But it was always a great show to watch. It was
That
fun.
that, that
You
might be
know,
worse than me because I did mine for an ex at least. Had
you
an
know,
excuse.
it's funny because I've been wanting to practice cutting shorts and getting those up because apparently that's what YouTube likes. You just inspired me.
There you go. It's a destruction of my name right now. I'm gonna
Eggs.
have 0 views on Ruthless issue 3.
If there's anybody out there that is a memer in our chat, please make some kind of meme about how John is actually very gay. Uh, you know, I have to give you a little bit of slack there because I know I make Scott watch a ton of stuff that he does not want to watch. And what is it? You know what? Since we are in mansplain still, I don't know if you have a theory on this. What is it about us crazy women that love watching true crime? I mean, it's kind of a
Yeah.
meme, right? What is up?
I,
'Cause I
I,
do it
I,
too.
at this point, I hate to say this, and you may be one of the exceptions. I think it's a bit of a red flag when a woman watches too much true crime. I think men have to be careful.
I don't watch too much. My
Okay.
thing is I survived,
Oh,
and
that's good. That's not a bad one, but
I
uh,
mean,
I I don't know
there's
what the
brutal
theory
rapes in
behind it
it.
is.
Oh, come on, make one up. Well, I mean,
Uh,
you just said it's a red flag. I think all of us just have a little crazy in us. How about your wife? How crazy is she?
I'm divorced, so
Oh,
I don't have a
oh,
wife anymore.
very.
Yes.
Who would divorce a handsome man like you?
But I'll stay out null on the subject. It's peaceful right now. I'm keeping it that way. So,
That's
All
right.
right.
And don't even get Batman started on divorce. He's gonna start calling his soon-to-be ex a bitch. The bitch.
uh-oh.
The bitch.
Keep it
Yeah,
peaceful.
we're in the same house together until it's final. She's buying me out of the house,
Wow,
but I have
that's a
my
tough one.
house here, so she's out of the house.
But it's going on forever. I think, Bruce, I think the first time we ever met when we were hanging backstage after the Three Beer Men, you immediately were like, the bitch, the bitch. And I'm like, damn, I'm never getting divorced. Like, I
Yep.
I want to be good to my husband. Like, I want to be a nice wife that serves him and all that. And he's a wonderful husband. So I think we're gonna make it. We've
That'd be
I
passed
think
10
cool.
you are.
years. We've passed 10
Oh,
years. I mean,
I went 30 before I finally filed.
ooh, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Anyway,
we had 5 kids, and the youngest one was still in college. And well, back then he was in junior high, but we went through all of that. And by the time all was said and done, I came back from J6, and she said, "That's it. I want a divorce." I'm like, "Okay."
hey,
I went to the okay.
was Trump the final straw?
Uh, J6 was, whether it was him or just the whole situation, because I was there, like you. But that was the final straw for her, and that's it. That's when she said she's done. I'm like, okay, no problem. I'll find a mediator. And then when that didn't work, I'm like, okay, I got a lawyer.
Yeah.
It was that
It's
easy.
a long
Oh,
process.
I'm
So
sorry,
it's almost 4 years now in.
you guys. Bruce, guess what? Guess what, Batman? I'm
What?
trying to find it. We got a $5 Rumble rant. And it says JVP, the ruthless rocker and badass from Whimsyland, Daniel. Oh, which by the way, you guys, I'm gonna be hanging out with Daniel and Everly and whoever else, maybe Royce. I don't even know who shows up to that show anymore, but over on the Drink with Crazy channel on the 18th for the
Nice.
launch of Flip City's Volume 23 campaign. I've never done a launch party and I'm super fucking excited to be on Drink with Crazy. Like the chat over there is the best.
Oh
Super
yeah.
fun. And the guys that show up are awesome.
Going with this. So I'll always appreciate what those guys do for other independent creators. I know Richard's not on the show anymore, but he's still got his website. Dan, Mr. Daniel P. Riley is actually the editor for Ruthless. He edited the second one, and he's actually doing the issue 3 now. So
Awesome. I had
yeah.
no idea. And Dan is fucking hilarious
Yeah.
and really fun and just an all around nice guy. Love you,
Yeah.
Dan.
Dan's the man.
All right, cool. Well, let's get on to our next segment because this one, um, people have taken a million different ways, and I'm excited to know more about you from this
Okay.
segment, which is called Conspiracy or Not. Let's get in there.
Nice. Conspiracy fact.
I wanna live with a conspiracy girl. I could be prepping the rest of my life with a conspiracy girl.
Those weren't aliens.
And thank you to Dr. Clown for that wonderful stinger. We love you, Dr. Clown. You are the best. Which, by the way, Bruce, you told me that InfoWars played some of his music today.
Yeah, I was really
Nice.
surprised. We played It's a Psyop.
All right, you must be a little bit away from your mic or wearing crappy.
Far away from the mic. How's that? Is that better?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is quite a bit better, but we are now in conspiracy corner, which, John, we got a couple ways that we can go with conspiracy corner here. I believe my audience is loving the wheel of conspiracy, which you do not have. You don't have to do it. You can
Okay.
spit any kind of conspiracy whatsoever. You know, so if you have a topic you'd like to speak on regarding any kind of conspiracy, which, you know, any basic thinking mind is now a conspiracy theorist. So you can talk about anything, or
Yeah.
we can go to the wheel.
I like the randomness aspect of the wheel, so we can do that. And I also like how you don't have the standard tinfoil hat. You have more of like a tinfoil beret. I like the
Yes.
choice there. Yeah.
Normally I have a tinfoil crown, but I found my beret tonight. So
Very nice.
yes. All right. So here's the wheel. The way the wheel works is you get 3 spins. You can stop on any of the first 2 spins and speak on the subject. And but if you decide to go for a 3rd spin, you're stuck with that subject, whether you know anything about it or not, and you can totally talk out your ass and just make up stories.
Okay.
All right. And also, the word angles is supposed to be angels. I still haven't fixed it.
Oh, no problem.
All right. Let's spin the wheel.
There we go.
Classic.
Ooh.
Classic.
Damn.
I mean, we can go on for an entire show about JFK. I'm
yeah.
sure.
I'm not a master at all conspiracies. I read up on like Priory of Sion and Illuminati. Like I like kind of the more ancient ones. This one's interesting though.
Are you a Tartaria fan? I'm
I'm not.
obsessed.
What's Tartaria?
Oh, well, you were talking about ancient conspiracy. If you don't know Tartaria, we're not even gonna get into it right now. But
Okay.
I will send you links because it is fascinating.
Sure, yeah. I love old school stuff like that. You kind of have to. I mean, I think that it had to be a government conspiracy where they had to take him out. I
Are
mean,
we? Hold on. Are we sticking with JFK assassination?
Oh yeah, I don't mind it. I'd
All right,
rather
let's
stick with
do
that
it.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know what you're gonna get stuck with if you keep spinning.
Yeah. Well, my for politics for the longest time, you know, when I was young, I was right wing. After like around 17, 18, and 18 years after that, I was a hardcore libertarian. And when COVID hit, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not libertarian anymore. So you know, when you're a libertarian, you kind of get the one thing I think they really nail is their monetary analysis of the Federal Reserve, the history of going back and the separation from the gold standard, how they hide inflation, how they changed the inflation index after the 70s. I mean, I think what the government does to our money is it's treason, treasonous what they do to our money.
I mean, does money even actually exist?
Not
I mean,
anymore. Yeah,
right?
it's just it's all feels now. It's not tied to anything.
They call it money. It's really just paper and metal.
It's currency.
I don't even.
Yeah.
No,
even
it's
that's-
literally just no. It's nothing floating in the air. It's not even fucking paper anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like actual currency. Anyway,
Wait,
but
I
that's
have to ask John if he's ever read the book Creature from Jekyll Island.
I'm aware of the book. I've seen interviews from the author. I forget his name. Great interview. If you can watch any interviews from that guy, damn, what is his name? I can't recall.
I don't recall it either, but the book was amazing. If you don't,
Yeah.
I mean, you may know the premise. Basically, how they created the Fed, and
Mhm.
anybody who went up against J.P. Morgan and any of the other guys, they put them on the Titanic and then sunk that ship with their entire family, so they had no opposition at all to creating the Fed.
Yeah. But I believe you know, I don't know if I would agree with everything JFK did in his administration, but I think he was problematic from a money perspective. And if he was taken out by a government conspiracy. I don't know. I guess I can't say if he was or not, but if he was, I think it was probably tied to the money. Always follow the money when it comes to politics. Always, because that's where you find all your answers.
Yeah. So how corrupt, what is more corrupt? Just like general government or the alphabet agencies like the CIA and FBI?
Oh yeah, it's got to be the three-letter agencies. They're unelected bureaucrats. The bureaucratic state. Honestly, I say I'm right wing, but whether it's left, right, libertarian, I don't think that's the biggest problem. I think the biggest problem is bureaucracy. You see that in corporations now with HR. Corporations really don't run that efficiently anymore because of bureaucracy. And that's a trickle down effect from government. And even though these corporations aren't really an arm of government, they kind of are because of HR. HR makes sure that they are. So yeah, bureaucracy is a huge no that we need to get rid of, or as much as possible.
Okay, and I just gotta say a couple of things from chat here because people have interesting things to say. Uh, at the exact same time, it seems like Evely and Evely over on our YouTube and Prairie Fire over on Foxhole both bring up J. Edward Griffin.
Yeah, that's the author of Jekyll Island.
All right, and then Mars Monkey Max, which hello and welcome to Creative Chaos because I don't recognize your name until right now. He says, I agree with libertarians on giving power back to the states. I was against all that anarchy stuff, but it looks like libertarians are aware that it wasn't a great idea. And that's the thing too. When you had said, you know, you were libertarian until COVID started, I have no idea. I mean, what's that even mean?
So, well, you get different types of libertarians, right? You have like small government minarchist libertarians, which that's what he's referring to. And you have, I think, still the dominant. This is where I would slightly disagree with him. I think most people who would call themselves a libertarian would be in the anarcho-capitalist group, which is basically no government, period. The free market will figure everything out.
Right. No
And,
masters, no slaves.
Yeah, and honestly, it sounds good, and I wish we lived in a world where that can be. I just think the old adage of live and let live, as much as I would like to live like that, I think that's the most peaceful way to live. I don't think you can do that all the time. You can't just live and let live because people are beginning to become problematic. People are going to go after what you earned in one way or another, and there's always going to be conflict. That's just who humans are. So what's the best way to organize society considering our flaws as human beings? Libertarians have this thing where they have to be consistent all the time, and the one things humans aren't, even the most consistent ones, are consistent. We just aren't. We're all hypocrites. We all do things against our morals at one point or another in our life. Even when you're older, even when you're wise, it's just built into us. We're animals. So
Yeah. Well, you know, I think one of the best I went and visited a stream and it was Paranoid American. I'm not sure if you know who he is,
no.
but we were talking he insisted to me, and I'm not a very combative person by nature. And I like it. It's kind of my feminine privilege, you know. It's like that's really what feminists should be, is like, dude, take advantage of not having to fucking argue all the time. Like that's our feminine privilege. Be like, man, I don't know. But he insisted everybody's fucking hypocrite, right? And I sat and thought about it for 30 seconds and I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. I try my best to not be a hypocrite, but I'm sure I can find if I were to do my regular self-reflection daily, I'm probably a fucking hypocrite, you know?
Oh yeah.
And
Everybody.
Just embrace it. Don't argue. You're a hypocrite.
Well, you can you can identify it, and it's on a scale. So if it's a minor infraction, no big deal. If it's a big one, maybe shame yourself and fix that going forward. It just all depends on like what it is. So.
All right. Well, we're going to leave Conspiracy Corner soon. And we've gone on to, we really went off the rails because we hardly talked about JFK
I know, yeah.
whatsoever. So, was it a government conspiracy or not? Come on.
I believe it was, and it's tied to the money. It's tied to what JFK. I forget what he was going to do, whether had something to do with the bank or going back to the gold standard, one of those things. But yeah, I would. That's my guess that it was.
He was going to take us away from the Fed and back to the gold.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yes.
Well, didn't he also say he was going to like break up the CIA into a million pieces and blow them into the wind or something? Something hippie.
I
like
think
that?
so. I think so.
Yeah, that was part 2 of his whole plan.
I'll tell you what. One of the main reasons I want Trump to win now is just the very slight off chance that he puts RFK Jr. as head of the CIA after he's in, because I would love to see what would come out if that were to happen. That would be magic.
I'm sorry, is that something that's out there being talked about? Because I thought it was
floating out there. I don't think it's officially said by either a candidate, but it's like floating out there. And I don't know, it makes sense to me. So,
all right.
He's actually going to be in charge of the health and services departments. He wants to make America healthy again, which is one of Trump's new slogans, thanks to RFK.
Yeah, which is why I keep saying Maha. I think you guys thought maybe I was having a stroke, but
Maha. That's Maha. MAGA and Maha.
Maha. Anyway, all right, we're done with Conspiracy Corner. You did a great job.
Nice. I like it.
You did a fantastic
Good segment.
job. Thank you. I love that segment. I think the audience does as well. I'm just going to check in with chat real quick, and because he's basically retired, but I love you. I love you, Max. I'm going to cut that into a short as well and send it to you. Oh yeah, what was the point? I was loving on Max. Oh yeah. All right. He laid it out to me once as a wonderful mansplainer in my life that the way our government is set up and how corrupt it is basically the higher level you get kind of like mirrors how freaking corrupt you are. Because it's kind of like, it's that whole thing. Power corrupts absolutely. So, the people that are making it on the television and as your leaders and stuff like that are probably the sickest fucks ever. I don't know if you're a Pizzagate guy, but Pizzagate.
I wouldn't be surprised. I you know what? I wouldn't discount anything at all. Like, there's some weird emails there for sure that make you ask questions like, what do you mean he wants a pepperoni pizza?
That you're sharing one slice of pepperoni pizza and also $65,000 hot dog party?
Yeah, it's
the
like
White House?
It doesn't that at least deserve the question? Let's just take Pizzagate out of it. Just like, what are you guys talking about? Why is this? It's obvious code. What's the code for, right? So I don't agree with power corrupts. I don't agree with that sentiment. I think that psychopaths and evil people are attracted to positions of power, just like pedophiles are attracted to jobs where children are around, like schools or such. So yeah, I think once you have some sort of institutional hold there, I think it's going to attract bad people, and you just have to figure out a way to avoid them getting in.
All right, cool. And I just got to, because George Washington is making me laugh. He says, RFK Jr. sucks and his voice sucks. And then a couple of comments later, he says, RFK Jr. making America hoarse again. And that just makes me think of you because you've been hoarse tonight.
I kind of sound like RFK Jr. And I agree with George Washington. RFK does kind of suck. My single issue is guns. If you're bad on guns, I won't vote for you.
Yep.
And he is bad on guns. So I'm not the biggest RFK fan, but I think it took a lot of courage for him to come out, support Trump. His family hates him now. Apparently, I think his wife might divorce him now.
Well, for other reasons, because he was uh, heroin addict, crack addict, whatever you want to call it,
What?
that he was
Yeah.
everybody and anybody under the sun. And he even has a brainworm from sucking women's asses. Okay. So RFK, not a fan, but if he's going to do something for America under Donald Trump, yes. But he is a gun grabber, and I'm not
Yeah.
happy about
Why
Here
don't we
here's
pay more attention? Like worms from sucking asses, and then also like horse cum guzzling from
Tim Walz.
yeah.
I think for the right to win, this is why the right doesn't win, or libertarians. I think this problem is actually a problem that they both have. They are allergic to incremental wins, small incremental wins. And if you look at the progressive era and what we've lost over the last 100 years, that's how we got here, slowly and steady, little by little. That Overton window has shifted, and the progressives have taken every little victory, and that is added up to a different America than we were 100 years ago. And if the right doesn't start accepting that in one way or another, we're going to lose. So I think we can criticize RFK Jr., but that's a win. And we need to look at that and say, okay, he sucks on so many things, but that is a win that he came out and did what he did, and we should embrace that.
All right, and then Evely Music just says, Bud got a lady ass brain worm? Asking the question. Like I
I
did.
guess he's got good lungs. He can suck a worm through an asshole.
All right. Well, we're officially out of Conspiracy Corner after Cosmic Grandpa so kindly took us back in there just for a little bit. I'm really excited about our next segment because this is where Flip City gets to brand you, and you're branded whether you like it or not. We don't
Okay.
actually take a hot poker, but we will read some Flip City content and hopefully have a few laughs. And for tonight's branded segment, I dug way back into the archives because I tried to like fit it with the person, that's coming on, and you're a music guy. So I chose Song Bland
Okay.
tonight. And this is going to take a little bit of explaining and setting up. So, Cause, if you can just bring up and pause the first slide here. All right. So this is Songbland, and I got to make full screen here. There's a few characters here. There is, I blocked my own thing. Okay. Shill I Am, John Legend, Megan Trainwreck, and Jonas Brother. And Bruce, just so you know, you're going to play the Jonas Brother. I'm giving you the least amount of lines here. There's one other character. So basically, the concept is, if you haven't watched Songland, it's one of those like you really kind of get to see how the music industry works for at least the public, not, all the ass fucking and all that. Uh, that's left out of this. It's a little more family friendly than that.
that. Would only be if you had Pedo Diddy in there.
That's a good one.
Yeah, well, like I said, we did dig way back, and I think this was published in 2020. So we have other P. Diddy stuff throughout the magazine before everything that came out, but blah blah blah, whatever. But we're doing Songbland tonight, John, because there's only 3 of us here reading. You do have to read a couple of people. I've given Jonas Brother to Batman. I'm gonna do Megan Trainwreck, and you are also playing the contestant, and you'll see him. He's
Okay.
not on this. But will you also play Shill I Am, and I'll play. So you got 2 characters, and I'll play John Legion and Megan Trainwreck.
Sounds good.
All right, very good. And there is a singing portion. I decided not to make you sing, and I created the AI thing, which I think is kind of funny. The AI
Awesome.
music. All right. So I guess I'm also gonna do the be the narrator. All right, so I'm gonna read us in here. We feature 4 of season 1's guest hosts because who really cares? The masters of millennial music mediocrity have earned the spotlight thanks to their massive egos and their uncanny ability to be song bland. Tonight on Songbland, some total chump, I mean, super talented young visionary visits our studio to impress us all with his not at all mediocre songwriting abilities.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, I'm Nathan Wrinkle. I wonder if I should push it so I crack my voice here. Looks
Oh,
like
yeah,
you-
yeah, yes. I was hoping for that, actually.
Hi, I'm Nathan Winkle, an aspiring songwriter from Austin, Texas. I like human rights, the environment, and long protests on the beach.
Cool, bro. Cool. You're first there, Batman. I'm sorry, that's probably me. So, what's the name of your song?
This song is called Hold On.
As if you just hold on, love will find a way.
No, because if you hold on, I'll be over in 3 minutes.
Okay, man, show us what you got.
Twang, twang, twook.
That's you too, John.
Oh my God, that was amazing. I want that song on my new album, new Black Eyed Peas album. It was just tuning. Oh, I was just tuning my guitar. Okay, I'm ready now.
And here comes the song. It's hilarious.
This will be
When it seems like you think that you're going to cry, when you feel like screaming helplessly at the sky, when you don't get your way every minute of the day, we just need a little more government to run our lives. So hold on, there's a socialist running, and take a deep breath, cause we can still save the planet. Just find something fun and get someone to bat it. Oceans may rise till we're underwater. Another 12 years we'll be swimming like otters, till CO2 leaves no traces. We'll get in your faces, act more annoying than Harry Potter. So baby, hold on while we phase out real meat. I'll buy you all the impossible whoppers you can eat. We'll confiscate the AR-15s and the Uzis and put a full stop to all the school shootings. Baby, hold on while we phase out real meat. I'll buy you all the impossible whoppers you can eat. We'll confiscate the AR-15s and the Uzis and put a full stop to all the school shootings.
Next slide.
It's coming.
That's what she said.
Well, that's you.
Powerful, bro. Only that line, everybody comes singing. I would replace that with a something, something, something. And instead of it's too hard to be humble, I'd sing mumble, goomble, gumble.
When you were playing, this is what I heard in my head. Dum dum, da dee dum.
You think I should play like that?
No, I think your song is dumb. You should make it go like this. Doody doo doo, doody doo.
Listen to the man. He's got EGOT.
Doody feels much better. Can we change all I have to offer to Rock Lobster?
And can we try it with a double time scabby?
That's you, John.
That's me. Instead of let your heart guide you wherever you go, how about let me slap you on the ass like a hoe?
And can you get me a venti mocha latte from the Starbucks on the corner? Later. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Dum de dum.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, man. We got it rocking now.
You're a genius.
Ow.
Oh, that's both me.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're a genius. And then they say something else, which I can't see. Oh, thank you. This is a great song, and it's going to be a huge #1 hit. Thank you for bringing it to Songland. Now get out.
Yeah, you signed a waiver to appear on the show that says we own the song now, so we don't really need you anymore, Kate.
Let's change this part that says written by you to written by me, Kay?
Excuse me?
Bye, bro.
Bye-bye, bro.
And all I've got to say is thank you, John, for participating in the Flip City branding. And while you don't have it on your ass, it will live with you forever.
I'll tell you what, it was good that my voice is going because I was able to have two distinct different characters.
It was awesome. Hey, how do you feel about voice acting? Because I get a little like tweaked.
Oh, well, it's so much fun to do it. I don't do any voice acting other than I'm in the recap and Ruthless, I voice act the recap. I have this announcer type character that does it. And it's the most fun of the whole project is when like everything's together and I'm writing it out and I'm like, okay, how is this guy gonna say it? And you know, if you had a camera, if you were in here looking at me as I do it, I look like a maniac because I'm raising my arms in the air, grabbing the mic, and I'm just all over the place with it. But it's so much fun. I envy my brother because he does the majority of the voice acting. He's got videos. It's just so much fun to do it. But it's hard. It's hard to be good at it.
Yeah, I feel you. If anybody that's interested in my own personal, and I'm kind of proud of it, voice acting, and go on the Flip City YouTube channel and look up Elmo Gets Vaxxed, and you get to hear my Elmo, which, gosh, I think I did it 3 years ago by now, and I think I've smoked too much since then to be able to do it as good. So I'm kind of proud of my Elmo.
Let's
Very
hear
nice.
your Elmo.
Right
Get your Elmo
now?
on. Yeah, get your Elmo on right now, girl. Come on.
All right, let's try. Elmo not know what you mean. See, I'm a little cracky there. A little cracky.
I'm sorry, you said you just smoked crack? What?
No, but I just saw John take a hit off his crack pipe.
That's tobacco. I probably shouldn't be doing it right now with him sick
Is it
with the
really?
voice, but yeah,
Is
it's
it really tobacco?
Hmm?
No, that's not a vape.
Yeah, it's a vape. Yeah, tobacco vape.
No, you
Or
should be doing
nicotine.
flour.
I got to ask you because you said you're just over 40, right?
41.
All right. So that officially makes you a millennial,
Yeah.
an old, on the older side.
Mhm.
So we kind of cross over a little bit because I'm a little pushing 50, you know. Damn, I look good 50. Hmm. Anyway, are you embarrassed of your generation or do you identify with it? Like my real question is like I feel like I piss off a lot of millennials that I have on my show. 'Cause it's almost like they don't understand sarcasm
Yeah.
or comedy even.
I think I don't know if you're familiar with, and I'll bring it back. I'm not gonna like go off on a tangent, but if you read into astrology where you have your signs, if you're closer to the back end or the front end of one of the signs date wise, you're kind of crossed with two signs. And I feel it's the same way with generations. So I feel like you said, I think some of the younger millennials do have issues taking a joke. Where I grew up in the 80s. I love Andrew Dice Clay. Like, little boy blue, it was me. It's like that's I anything, even if it's not funny, if it's meant as a joke, I don't get angry at it because the intent of it was to try and make you laugh. So I'm never bothered by any type of comedy as long as the intent's there to make you laugh.
I really like that you said that. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say it exactly like that. Even if you
Mhm.
don't find it funny, don't get mad at it.
Yeah.
Um, yes. And then I just gotta say I got a personal message from Cosmic Grandpa to set a raid on pilled.net for Badness Comic Network. And I'm gonna just take the opportunity here for one moment to say how fucking awesome Madness Comic Network is. Pops Van Zant. I've only heard a tiny bit of shit talked about him, which for as long as he's been in the indie comic space is kind of impressive. Like
Yeah.
me personally, I don't want to fight with fellow conservatives. There seems to be a real problem with that. Madness Comic Network, I fucking love. The mission behind it is to gather up indies and really promote to each other, help boost each other up, all that kind of stuff. I feel a little bad because over on their Facebook group, I don't interact really, but it's a me problem. It really is. I have social media anxiety. I don't know how to interact in digital spaces, which
Yeah.
you, John, as a like cusp millennial, do you have any like mansplaining type advice? Like, how do I fucking get over that shit? Because like I like so many people and I'm in so many groups and I lurk and I do weird shit, but I don't interact. How do I get over that?
It's hard because most of the interactions that get you clicks now is you have to like go at somebody like they're an enemy or be super controversial, and I just don't care to do that. I don't mind making enemies, but I'm not just going to create one over something stupid. I don't have the time or energy to do it. So I'm not really successful online either. I've got a little bit of following, but I don't know. I couldn't give you great advice on how to build a online following because I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
Okay. Are you okay interacting in groups though?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah. How and you're okay with that too, Bruce, and you're a boomer.
Well, you see, like he just said, I'm the tail end of the boomers. Cosmic and I are, 64. We were the last year of the boomers. So I never
Yes.
really considered myself a boomer. I considered myself to be more of a Gen Xer.
Okay, that's really interesting because I totally view both you and Cosmic Grandpa as Gen X. You guys act completely Gen X.
Because that's the eras we grew up in. Like Johnny grew up in the 80s. We grew up in the late 60s, early 70s. We were the 70s babies. That's where I got. I used to listen to WADC radio. It was an AM radio station on my little clock radio in my bedroom. When I was doing my homework. I didn't have a real stereo until I was in high school. and I had a large album collection because my great aunt was a studio executive for Warner Brothers Records, and I can't even remember the name of Kiss's old record label, Casablanca. Casablanca. She worked for the company that printed all of their albums. So she'd bring me albums all the time, and I thanked her very much for all the albums, but I didn't get to play them until probably until just before I went into high school. I finally got a stereo system because I was working, uh, on the weekends making money, and I bought myself a stereo system. So, I mean, I'm a big music buff in general. I can't say I'm eccentric in the way that I listen to music because I listen to everything, John. You name it, I listen to it from, Bach to Beethoven to,
Yeah.
um, Iron Maiden, Kiss, um, oh, Meat Puppets, right? Black Flag, Five Finger Death Punch. Who's the guy on friggin' YouTube? Leapfrog Studios out of Norway or Sweden. He's a metal. He takes all these other songs and he covers them as metal songs. Leapfrog Studios, look him up. I'm almost positive it's called Leapfrog Studios. Leo something or other. He's hysterical, bro. You would absolutely love his shit because he'll take something like Jenny 8675309 and make it metal. It's hysterical.
Is that the bald guy? Is he bald?
On YouTube with a long tasseled goatee.
Yeah. I think I may have seen
Yes,
him before.
he's freaking riot. And I also want to put you in touch with one of our Pilled Foxhole guys who's also big into metal and writes his own songs.
Yeah.
Also plays guitar. Shaunanon from Shaunanon is his name, and that's the name of his show. But he also does. Kaz, jump in here if you can help me out. What's the name of not Right Side? America First. I think it's called America First. But he's on pill.net. I think he's also on Rumble, but I don't have his direct line, but I would put you in touch with him. I'll have to get your number from Chris if it's okay with you, and I'll try and reach out to Johnny because Sean and put you in touch with him because I think you two would hit it off amazingly.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, he does late nights on Pilled. Like he'll go from like 11 o'clock at night until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. He'll just stream straight through. He's beast like that. He's a Mason by trade, but he's a musician at heart. And he's a self-admitted drug addict, and he's been recovered now for I forgot how many years, but he also became a counselor for drug addicts. Narcotics, what is it? Narcotics Anonymous?
I don't know.
But
Um,
We don't know
sounds like
because
an organization.
we don't know because we don't do drugs.
no, we just do herbs. Or I only do.
That's
I don't
funny.
even do I don't even do big pharmacology. I'd rather do herbs.
Hey, Whimsyland over on Rumble just proposes a question I thought was interesting, and I'd love to hear your take, John, on it. Is what we need is less promoting to circles of creators and more promoting to the rest of the nerd communities. Is this like a common theme in your own personal discussions and also within your circle of friends? Because I know, and thank you, JVP, by the way, for bringing so many people to my stream tonight. I think a lot of these people are in that kind of drink with crazy
Yeah.
Iron Age circles, which I fucking love. I love that. And I feel like I want to be apologetic. Like, I'm sorry I don't like hang out with you guys in chats, but like I said earlier, I'm a fucking weirdo that like can't get my shit together in groups. Anyway, but back to what Daniel said.
Yeah, I was just talking to my brother yesterday about what's our rollout plan for marketing with this next issue because we need to invest a lot of time into it, right? And I think this is what happens. You have a couple of events, right? Ripperverse launch. Razor Fist comes out and says this is the damn Iron Age, right? and everybody's like, oh, okay, all this excitement, all these indie creators are like, okay, I've been creating. Here's this, basically this shot of energy that we all just got. We all start meeting, we all get together, we release our project, and most of the people that initially see our projects are other creators. They're not, and they could be fans too, but they're not just your normal standard fan who doesn't create. Now, that's good because you get feedback and you get eyes on it, and you get to know where your product is promising and where your product needs improvement. So that's all good. I think we get comfortable kind of settling in there and only promoting to that group. And that's where the mistake comes in. What we need to do as creators is we need to go out and create our own fan base and drag them back into the Iron Age so they see our artists there. And if we don't do that, we'll always just be a creator movement and not a fan movement. And I know that sounds like a diss to the Iron Age, but just consider this. We've been going for coming up on 3 years now, I think. And every creator that I met, as soon as this kind of all kicked off, is still going strong. And there's like the morale is still there. The individual morale for them doing their projects is still there. So I think that's pretty promising that you can go through 2-3 years of creating this stuff. And all of us are growing. We're growing, but it's slowly. But we're not getting discouraged, really with growth. And with my old band, we were small, but at some point later on, we were local, but we were the biggest local band in South Florida. And we had 2 record offers that we didn't sign because we would have been broke, but we were knocking on the, success's door, for lack of a better term, before we broke up. So you have to grind it out until you just reach this critical mass where your product becomes undeniable and people have to pay attention to it. And the longer we can grind it out and keep that morale high, keep the energy high, and continuously get not just better, but way better, like become undeniably good. That's when you're going to see some of these smaller projects really start getting some headway. And my prediction, and I predicted this when it first started, and this prediction hasn't changed. The Iron Age is going to be a process that could take 5 to 10 years. But as long as we keep knocking it out, you're going to have at least 2 to 3 products come out and get adopted for like a TV show or a cartoon or an anime or possibly even a movie. But you're going to see that. You're going to see a couple of breakthroughs that come out of this. It may not be everybody, but maybe we can get a couple of guys out there to get some attention. Yeah, Dan's right. We need to go out and we need to drag people back in. That's the only way we're going to get more eyes on us.
Look at what happened to Gerard Way. Do you know who that is?
To say that again?
Look what happened to Gerard Way. You know who Gerard Way is?
That name sounds really familiar, but I'm drawing a blank on who that is.
Umbrella Academy. And he also has a rock band. Actually, a fairly decent one. I'm trying to remember the name of the band. You're going to have to Google them for me, Cosmic, because I am unable to. I'm still on my phone.
Batman's always bossing Cosmic around. Just let him be stoned and drunk, okay?
Gerard Way, is that like the original writer of the Umbrella Academy?
That's correct. He's the one who created the comic book and then helped the TV show, which went mega viral on Netflix.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. I mean, something as simple as a really good black and white comic book, independent no less, that really gained momentum just because of the storytelling and the artwork. I mean, what good comic books used to be back in the day, and the indie movement is bringing that back. The indie movement always had great stories, not always great art, but definitely great stories. And then the art caught up to the stories, and at least that's my take on it. I mean, that's early 80s into early 90s. Going through the comic industry. I finally gave up collecting comics actually in the mid to late 90s because it was just getting to be overbearing. I just started a family, and I had 2 boys already, and the third one was on the way, my little girl. But just something as simple as a really good story and a good black and white artist could blow something up into becoming another Umbrella Academy. And
Yeah.
you guys have that opportunity now. And I look forward to seeing somebody, if not many of you, make it into the film and TV genre. Because I'm dyslexic and I'm ADD, I have to visually see things.
Yeah.
Everything needs to be visual for me. And a good comic book turned into a movie, which it's amazing how DC Comics did a phenomenal job at the animation movies, and yet Marvel couldn't get an animated movie to look halfway decent. But if you go the other side, the live action, Marvel just fucking blew shit away until DC finally caught up. And honestly, I think, going from '89, the Michael Keaton Batman all the way up to Christian Bale Batman was just a nice a transition, and watched the franchise grow. I actually like the idea of Michael Keaton becoming Batman when everybody else was like, "Oh, Mr. Mom's playing Batman." So that's what it was. That's that they were literally like slamming him for taking the part, but it was ideal for him. I thought he played an amazing job as both the dichotomy between Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Yeah.
So, but I digress. I didn't mean to take that part over. Go ahead.
Well, actually, I just want to talk a little bit about Iron Age. When I had, so your story is, you kind of got involved with the Iron Age people and all that, and then found out about Comics Gate, blah blah blah. I mean, I think a lot of people, if you're in the indie space on the conservative side, if you don't know either Iron Age or Comics Gate, where you're probably not on social media. I mean, that's my first thought, right?
Probably.
And there's so much actually I kind of want to dig into a little bit, because I fucking love the purpose and kind of mission, unofficial or official, depending on, I guess, who you're looking at, of both Comicsgate and Iron Age, particularly Iron Age, because it seems like at this point, that's the more grassroots, like, hey, listen, this is where all these kind of middle of the line and right, which is basically everybody with sanity, is going to like produce their comics and kind of really like fight the good fight against the establishment and all that. I'm like, dude, I fucking love Iron Age. But it has not gained the traction of like a Comicsgate, right? I think we can all agree. But there's so many fucking great people in the Iron Age. Like, do you feel like it's like just a big circle of people? I think AC Pritchard just said in chat, like a really, really big band. Do you feel like it's kind of like hit its expansion point, and you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, not at all. I think, artistic movements could take, like I said, it takes a lot of time. The difference between Comicsgate and Iron Age is very simple. Comicsgate had names. They had heat, which is great for generating, visibility online, because, people are getting fired unjustly from their jobs. And you had these huge names getting fired. Well, some huge, some medium sized, but you had established names who people liked reading their books getting fired, and then saying, okay, we're just going to do our own thing. So there was kind of
so you're riding the wave of controversy.
Yes. So
and the press that comes with that.
Yes. And the Iron Age really came out of just this disgust of a modern day Hollywood and book writers and comic book creators and video game everything. Music sucks now. Like, everything
Yeah.
sucks now. And it's just
Everything
like, okay,
does.
we're gonna throw our hat into it and see what we can do here. And there's just hundreds of creators, maybe even more than 1,000. I don't even know what the number is, but it keeps growing. And we have to find a way to break through. Comicsgate is a fan movement where Iron Age is a creator movement. I think that's the simplest way to break down the difference between the two of those sects.
Okay. I actually really appreciate that kind of differentiating, because it does seem like the biggest real kind of grassroots, like, hey, we are fighting back against the entertainment establishment, basically, in music
Yeah.
and comics and, whatever we can, get our hands on. And like I said, that's why I'm so attracted to the Iron Age movement, is that does seem the more genuine fan movement once somebody's able to find it. And you were talking also about breaking out, what I had said. Do you think it has hit a wall? No, not necessarily, but we do need to get past kind of like the firmament type of thing,
Yeah.
right? And
Okay.
reach out.
Like,
So
to plateau. You think they hit a plateau?
no. Here's what I'll say. You have, I guess if you want to classify Arc July and Iron Age, that's fine. Razor Fist really kind of coined a term. So you have to, right? And I love Razor Fist. But these guys sell their products to their fans. It's been 3 years. Their fans have not translated to other Iron Age creators. So we have to, at this point, say, okay, that's kind of a fan direct to customer, but it's not people that are actively looking for indie properties. But there are people looking for indie properties out there. There are people looking for good stories. So how do you get visibility on it? And I think what a lot of people are doing is the YouTuber model, right? Where it's like, okay, build your YouTube channel, build your Twitter, create your own fan base, and sell like these other guys do directly to their people. That's a full-time job, and you need talent. Like, I don't have the talent to just pop on my camera and give like a 10-minute really good analysis off the top of my head like some of these guys do. I have to sit down and write it, and even after I do that, it's probably just okay. It's not even that
Oh no,
entertaining,
you're
right?
so cute. Your
So
little your commentary on Iron Age versus Comicsgate, I
Comicsgate.
think it
Oh,
was great. I really
yeah.
enjoyed it, but
Well,
I could tell it was heavily edited.
Oh yeah, and heavily written too, and rewritten. So that model, it works now, and it works small time now, but I feel like creators are chasing the ability to have an online business that can replace their full-time job. And I actually am not going for that. Like, I like the fact that my job is out of the internet. Like, you have to get me fired, you have to contact my job and be like, oh, this guy said this online, and I don't shit post. I don't start fights. Maybe you can find me saying fuck or shit, but that's it. Like, I don't attack people. I'm not ultra controversial. So it's like, good luck trying to get me fired. Maybe you can, but you probably can't, right? So to me, like, my mom, I'm trying it different. I'm not going to do the internet grind because I don't have the time. And grinding out what I do now is already time consuming as hell because I'm writing, I'm doing the music. Music's very time consuming. The video editing, the coordination. I'm the art director, right? I have to come up with what the art looks like and consult with my artist and be like, this is what I'm thinking of what we're doing. All that stuff takes time. So to add on a full-time job, kids, family, I just don't have the time to grind it out online. So we have to think of different ways outside of that model because I don't know how long that model is going to be sustainable. And I don't know if you want to put all your eggs in a basket where if one thing happens online and your reputation gets destroyed, you're over. So I think you need to realize that making a living on the internet is kind of like playing professional football. Maybe you get the $10 million contract, or maybe you play 2 years for the league minimum, and then you're out on the street not making any money, right? Which is the vast majority of football players. So we need to be creative in what we, how we try and get eyes on this and think of the long game. Let's not think of the short term. think of how to build a product that's so good that once somebody big sees it and retweets it and it starts picking up steam, it's like, okay, now it's time to capitalize on this in a way that doesn't expose me too much to liabilities that could damage me. So that's kind of the approach I'm taking. I don't know if it'll work, but at least I know I can work in my industry for the rest of my life and not have to worry about money. And that's a big deal when it comes to creating because it costs to create.
All right.
Very well put.
It
Appreciate
was
that.
all very, very good advice and almost exactly the opposite of what Flip City does, is we like to piss people off publicly and then use it for content
Yeah.
in print.
Well, and that's fine. I don't mind being mean or stuff. Like I'm nice online because I'm mean in real life. I have no problem being confrontational face to face, and I get it all out when it's there. Very healthy way to live. But you know, when you are controversial, you open yourselves up to enemies, and these people have proven that they have no problem destroying your entire life. So just keep that in mind when you're out there promoting your products.
All right, fantastic. Well, hey, I got a question too, because we've got a campaign launching pretty soon, and none of ours have done very well. We've done a very, very different thing from, I think, a lot of indies, and didn't start with the crowdfunding thing. And we found our success by finding a couple of really great people that had big audiences on the internet to talk about us, saying, hey, Flip City's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So if there was any advice that I would give Iron Age to like kind of expand beyond the circle and find more of those people to bring them in and say, hey, look, there's this really cool fucking indie movement going on with a lot of great stuff happening, and not only in independent comics, but music and movies. Jared, right? That's the guy's name with the Western.
Yes, Jared. I was it Crispin?
Is it
What?
Crispin or Christensen or anyway?
Tell you in a second.
Uh, I think he's done a pretty good job within the Iron Age, getting his name out there, because I've seen it pop up multiple times, and I know
Yeah.
he's going on to like film festivals and all that kind of stuff and doing his kind of his own job in bringing eyes onto the Iron Age movement and his own fans and all that kind of stuff. I super encourage everybody to bust out of the comfy circle and find the people, the audience that has no fucking idea Iron Age exists,
Yeah.
and bring them into it and show them there's all this great independent shit happening. It like fucking art is not dead. It's just shifted away from Hollywood,
Yeah.
And so it really is a very exciting grassroots movement. I'd love, by the way, we're launching a campaign. I think that's where I started. We're launching a campaign. I'd love to see a lot of Iron Age loving us, because that is the reason we made Flip City magazine, for me personally. And I think that's maybe the feminine in Flip City, is I just did it because I wanted to be loved for having bigger balls than any guy that says white men for Harris. Is that what it is?
Yes.
White straight men.
dudes. White dudes
Oh.
for Harris.
I have way bigger balls than them,
You do.
So
It's Jared
come love us.
Jared Crispin, and I'm pretty confident you're gonna get a lot of love on that Drink with Crazy release show. You're gonna get a lot of people retweeting you. We all kind of like you over on our side, so I don't think you have any concern there.
That makes me feel so happy, because I know I'm not active in the community, but I have great love for Drink with Crazy, the chat, which he tells me like that's slumming it to be in the chat. And then that also compounded on my social media anxiety. And I'm like, I don't want to be a slumlord, like living in the chat. So I'm just not going to hang out. But I love Drink with Crazy. I'm super excited to have a launch party over there, and I hope you will make it that night.
Yeah, I should be able to make it, at least for a little bit.
Okay, cool. And I was happy to see that Evalie showed up tonight as well in the chat. You guys, I gotta say, I had a teeny bit of an edible like 20 minutes before the show. It's kicking in along with maybe like 3 fingers of whiskey. So, like, I love you, chat. I'm not even going to try to read the chat right now. Like, thank you for showing up to Creative Chaos. And let's close the show out because I'm also quite hungry. I got the munchies. Batman and Cause also, like, I've wanted to be seeing your handsome face today. So if you just want to pop out as well, I'd love to see you on screen. Everybody, this is Cosmic Grandpa, like the fucking bestest producer in the entire world.
I like the background.
Yeah. Don't you have a stinger for that Cause?
Oh, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
I want that every time. You are no longer allowed to come out from behind the curtain without that stinger.
But do you want to know why the chicken crossed the road?
Not really, but go ahead.
Because that's...
You guys, well, on that note, tell everybody where to find you.
Well, you can find me and Bruce at the same place, which is Three Beer Men, every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, on Twitter, X, Foxhole, D Live, Rumble, Odyssey, Twitch, and now on YouTube on the Madness Comic Network. But you can find all those links at threebeermen.tv. TV, number 3beermen.tv.
It's a website.
Indeed. I'm getting better at that.
Yes, you are, good sir. I think I've rubbed off on you a little bit.
That's what she said.
So, yeah, that's it. Cosmic said it all. I don't have to. So, peace, love, and prayers for our brother, the Texan, who suffered a heart attack Monday night while he was on his own show. So if you get a chance, please do that. And on your way out, please hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell for us one more time. Make sure you hit that red pill and send us some love. Show us that you support what we're doing here. And on that note, I'll throw it back to you, Christy.
I gotta say thank you to Madness Comic Network. And of course, flipcitymag.com is where you can find us, including all of our social media. But if you want to get in contact directly with me, it's at Kitty Flip City on Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter account, like I'm other places, but like just get a hold of me on Twitter. I'm kind of enjoying the DMs over there. And of course, subscribe to Flip City Magazine. Look at these fucking awesome covers. I love it. Everybody should love Flip City.
DM?
What?
Christy, do you check your pilled DMs at all?
Like, right. I don't do that while live. Like, I'm ADD.
No, I'm not saying live, but do you check them regularly?
I do. So I do. If
They're
I
up on
see a
Pilled.
little notification of a DM on Pilled, it's Flip City Mag. That's me as well. Pretty much all social medias, it's me. Unless you're DMing Flip City Mag on X, then you're gonna get Scott, and he's a wonderful guy and kind of autistic. And that's why you should subscribe to flipcitymagazine.com. Help my autistic husband who forced me into publishing savage satire on print. Flipcitymag.com.
I don't refer to your husband as an autist. I refer to him as an artiste provocateur.
Yes. That works for me. And you call him Scotty, just like you wanted to call John Johnny, and make up all kinds of names for people. And that's why I love you. Anyway, Johnny, where can we find you?
Sure. You can find me on Twitter, J_V_P_music, YouTube, JVP Music. That's really it for now. Shout out to the Iron Age, Evely and AC in the chat. They've actually contributed to Ruthless 2. Royce from A Drink of Crazy is a voice actor in Ruthless. His wife's a voice actor. We're pulling in so many people to help work on this project. I think we're up to like double digits now. And Yeah, you can find me there. I do other projects outside of Ruthless. I have my YouTube channel where I have a new series called If I Scored It, where I take an independent property and do music for that, like give it a custom score, like if they have their own theme. We have a stream me and my brother are going to do shortly called Storytime Slaughterhouse, where we bring on 2 artists and kind of have a couple rounds where they duke it out and live story craft in the stream. It's kind of game showy, but that'll be getting kicked off the next month or 2. And Ruthless, the main project, issue 3, we're halfway through the video editing, and that should be out in the next 2 to 4 months. And it's going to be the best one. We're really starting to run on all cylinders. We're pretty good at identifying the mistakes we made, improving them. And of all the properties in any kind of indie movement, ours is the most adaptable to film. We're basically have the score ready. We've got the main voice actor ready. The writing's done and all the storyboarding is done. So we're really excited to see where we can take this and find out what happens. But I'd love to see this animated. So check it out.
Oh, that's something also that I've noticed a lot in indie, especially Iron Age movement, is almost everybody has animation dreams. And that was before making Flip City, we were considering just doing animation. It's like, oh no, why don't we lay out the properties in a magazine in storyboard format?
Yeah.
So I love it. I love it because animation is awesome.
Yeah.
Johnny, I'm going to recommend you reach out to somebody if you can get a hold of him. His name is Michael Uslan. He is the owner of any movie. He's the head producer of any movie Batman is in.
Really?
Yeah. Michael Uslan. He bought the rights to movie and video and TV Batman, visual Batman, back in 1986. And it took him 3 years to get the first Michael Keaton Batman movie out. And now he's at anything and everything Batman. He's got 2 books that he has out already about how he wound up working for DC Comics and becoming, the owner of Batman properties. It's amazing. He started out in college in Indiana, creating a class on comic books. He was the first college course on studying comic books using the mythological approach. So they are our modern day mythological heroes, basically. And if you get a chance, check out his books. I think it's that's the name of his books. Now I got to look them up because I read them so long ago, but I actually got to interview him. Hold on one second. I'm going to look it up for you real quick.
Sure.
No. What we're going to do is we're going to close the show.
Close out the show, and we'll do this in the back studios. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, John, I got to tell you, if you're hitting the 2-hour mark, it means we really love you.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well,
So
we appreciate everything you do for us, and I know you had Dan on. I think you had Ava Lee on. We appreciate
haven't.
everything you do for all the creators. It helps. It helps keeps us going. So thank you very much. And don't give up on the magazine. I think magazines should make a comeback. Everybody should love a good magazine.
hey, we just landed Diamond Distribution. So that's
Nice.
a whole new marketing thing for me. But anyway, thank you everybody for coming to Creative Chaos tonight. I had a really great time with you, John. We're going to close it out and then you guys can talk about the thing you were talking about that I was totally zoned out on. Backstage. Goodbye, front end. We'll see you backstage, John. Bye. You got to
Bye-bye.
wave. That is what we do here. We wave.
Last time on Ruthless. The story introduces Ash, who experiences a catastrophic event called the Short, which wipes out all electricity on the planet. After a long journey home, Ash discovers his family is missing, so he builds a weapon to find them. After a random encounter, Ash comes into the care of a teen boy named Eddie. What's Ash gonna do with all of these problems? Find out on the next issue of Ruthless!
right, kid. Remember what I told you. When you decide to act, you go all in. Give it everything you got. Now, go get us some lunch. I took the kid out hunting today. We need to eat, and he needs to learn how to survive. And I can pick up a few things along the way. Okay, Eddie, now's the time. Go! Go, kid. Eddie, come on! Go! The kid hesitates. Eddie, I know what you're feeling, but there are things that gotta die. Don't hate it. Don't love it. Use it. Let it focus you. 'Cause that's what it means to be a man. And that's what you are now. So go kill that fucking thing. Go!
Shit!